Welcome back, everybody. Take a break with Stephen, Mr. Stephen Shamus.
How you doing, Alex? Yeah, we
Wonderful.
heard about the sad passing of John Sr., legend.
Crazy legend.
Remember how we interviewed John Jr. for our other podcast that we had done? He's like Michael Jordan, it's
and he had his hands in everything. He wasn't just an artist on Spider-Man, like it as an editorial and art director, like literally everything out of the Bronze Age, like John Romita had a hand on something.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times we've mentioned him just on the hundreds.
We probably mentioned
hundreds
today, maybe. Who knows?
Our condolences
so
out.
Much. Yeah.
Yeah, so our condolences to John Jr. It's very sad. But, the guy lived a very long life and accomplished many, many great things. So he's a legend. All right. So, Alex, what do we got today?
We're going to go back down to we're going to do some more bugs and some snakes and then the Marvel's villain. We're going back to the Krees and Skrulls.
Got it. What are we starting with today, Alex?
Let's talk Blue Beetle, Victoria Cord. I'm excited about this movie.
Played by Susan Sarandon.
Yes.
Interesting, right?
Yes.
So who is Victoria Cord and why is Susan Sarandon playing her?
Victoria Cord in the comics is Ted Kord's sister, and she's the head of Cord Industries, which Ted Kord was an inventor and where he made a lot of money. In the movie, I think it's going to be a little bit different. I think she's playing Victoria Cord. So I'm assuming it has nothing to do with Ted Kord because Ted Kord hasn't been casted. So I am very much unsure of where that goes, and maybe they just mentioned. But I think she's cast as the villain. I think she's actually going to be a villain. So it'll be interesting to see what they're doing with it. I mean, Cord Industries has been in like the CW series stuff. You hear that Cord Industries a lot. I think everybody was kind of hoping to see a Ted Kord Blue Beetle in one of those TV shows, but they're all but gone now. Right. So it'd be interesting to see what they do and what if it's just a name or if it has any connection to Ted or what.
Well, this is a tough book to find. So if Susan ever does a signing or if a character becomes very popular, very, very tough book to find. Blue Beetle Graduation Day #2 from February of 2003. Yeah. 5 9.8s, $15 to $20 raw. Josh Trujillo's story, Adrian Gutierrez cover and art. Next one is interesting. I don't know if it's a rumor or guaranteed, but the next one is interesting. Go ahead, Alex.
Dar-Benn.
Right. So supposedly, this is the new character in the Marvels, played by Zawe Ashton, the wife of the great Tom Hiddleston, who actually saw on Broadway with Charlie Cox.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a picture with her and told her that I thought someday she'd be in a Marvel film, and I think she agreed.
And
with
here
me.
we are.
Maybe I willed it into existence.
You did. You helped.
So talk a little bit about this character Dar-Benn that we think is going to be in the Marvels film because they kept it under wraps.
Yeah, this character in the comic books is somebody who essentially takes the mantle of the Kree. She is a Kree leader, Kree leader. Her and another Kree general. They took over the Kree. They built an Android version of Silver Surfer, but I highly doubt that's going to be in this movie. But I think all we need to know is the Marvels, the Skrull Secret Wars is coming out, and the Kree. We've seen the Kree in the Miss Marvel movie, and this is going to be the leader of the Kree.
Got it. So this book is not easy to find. Silver Surfer, Volume 3, number 53, August of 91, probably in dollar boxes. 15 9.8s, about $185, about $15 raw now. Can't really find the book, but it does have an Infinity Gauntlet crossover. So when the Marvel films are coming out, the Infinity cover did have some of its own popularity, but this book could really take off if Zawe is playing this character. Ron Marr's story, Ron Lim and Tom Christopher cover and art. All right, Alex, pick of the week. What do we got?
I want to talk about Jim Varney. I want to talk about Ernest P. Worrel because I think it's one of those weird rabbit hole. I was looking at it was on YouTube. I typed in something about Disney, something I was looking up at Disneyland. Then there was a video on like the closing of Splash Mountain. I started watching that, and then there was the opening video of when they opened Splash Mountain, which was a special with Ernest P. Worrel. And then I started going down the rabbit hole of Jim Varney, and I think Jim Varney and Ernest is one of those like Americana things that you may remember. I mean, there was like Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Scared Stupid,
Oh
Ernest
my God.
Goes to Jail. Like so many. I mean, so many Ernest movies, and like when you think of like this character, like it might not be somebody that people remember. Like I don't know if anybody born after 2002 is going to know this character, or what the what was around, or the ads, the merchandise, like and I started looking at like what's around, and like you can get like there was a talking doll there between like 30 to $100 in box and stuff like that, but then a lot of collectibles. He did sign a bunch of stuff before he passed, so there's a good amount of stuff out there, but just an interesting thing to think about, where like in the 90s you couldn't turn on the TV or TBS or whatever without seeing a commercial or an Ernest movie just playing, or they were just so much out there, and just a weird thing to think about of like collectible world. And like if you're at a garage sale and you're in your early 20s, you're not going to know who Ernest is. I just don't think that's possible.
It's interesting. He died in February of 2000.
Yeah.
23 years ago. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, we because
Crazy.
it was so all over the place, and you would think he'd still be alive doing Ernest stuff, but he would
Crazy.
be if he was still
Crazy.
alive. Yeah, nuts.
All right. What do we got next, Alex?
Yeah, we're gonna go talking about snakes now. We're on the snake worlds. We're gonna talk Diamondback 2.
Yeah, Rachel Leighton. So
Yep.
going to be appearing in Captain America New World Order. Got pushed back a few months back in 2024. Played by Rosa Salazar. It will be the leader of the Serpent Society in the movie. So talk a little bit about the Serpent Society and Diamondback and this particular Rachel Leighton character.
Yeah, so the Serpent Society is a bunch of snake themed villains that kind of got together and were doing missions and stuff like that. It's funny because Diamondback is not a huge character in the comics, but in the Captain America world she kind of is. She was a villain, she became a hero for a little while, then went back to being a villain. She has these she doesn't have any superpowers really, but she has these diamonds that do different things, like a bat belt of diamonds. Like they explode, they can melt stuff. She did turn into a hero for a little while, and her and Captain America dated. So that's like an interesting thing. Like maybe we'll see something like that in the movie, because we don't get a lot of romance in the MCU. There is some for sure, but it's not a lot. And then when we do get a good one like Jane Foster, they killed him off. So we don't know, or they make them into villains like they did. What's her face in Captain America made her a
Julia
villain.
Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah.
And then who the Captain America kissed her once, I forget her name. She was in the TV show. She's also
Emily
a villain.
not Emily Van Camp.
The
Sharon Carter.
Yeah, Sharon Carter's now a villain. So like not a lot of really positive romances. But yeah, it's just a character that's been around for a while. Big villain in the 80s, part of this weird conglomerate of snake people. So it'll be fun to see.
Got it. Okay. All right. So what okay, let's see where we are. Sorry about that. Captain America lost my place. Captain America number 310, October of 1985. There's only 15 9.8s. It's a $200 book in 9.6. So it is a tough kind of tough book to find. First appearance of Diamondback Rachel Leighton. Black Knight is in there. Star Fox and Serpent Society appearance. Mark Gruenwald story, Paul Neary and Dennis Janke cover and art. There's also a Canadian price variant. Then Captain America number 371 is her first cover. June of 1990. There's only 9.8s. It's about a $65 book, but that's going to be going up.
That's a lot.
First cover, Diamondback's backup story by Mark Gruenwald and Mark Bagley. And then finally, she has a main image on the cover. Captain America number 380, December of 1990. There's only 6 9.8s. It's a $3 to $5 raw book. Again, Serpent Society appearance. Tiger Electronics insert. Mark Gruenwald story. Ron Lim and Danny Bulanati cover and art. All right. What is the final Serpent we're closing with today, Alex?
Klaus Voorhees. we're gonna talk a little King Cobra.
King Cobra.
Yep.
The modern era King Cobra,
Yep.
supposedly appearing in Captain America: New World Order. It's rumored, but again, we're hearing a lot about the Serpent Society, so that's where we're kind of like focused right now.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about King Cobra.
King Cobra was Klaus Voorhees. He was he was an ex-con. He worked with a researcher. He decided to become a villain, and one of these things with the snake, weird snake stuff. But he got bit by a snake, and then he used an antitoxin to save himself. But just like the Marvel universe, the snake was irradiated, and it gave him powers. And of course, what people do when they get powers, they either become a villain or they become a superhero. And he became a villain because he was already a villain.
Right.
So he did become the leader of the Serpent Society. So it'll be interesting to see if that's who's going to be the leader. But it seems like they're really leaning into the Diamondback being the leader. So unsure. But it'll be interesting to see if they're going to give him all these, because he's got like this crazy snake costume. Like they're not going to use that in the movies. Like there's no way.
Got it. All right. So White Tiger #1. I actually do remember this book coming out.
Yeah.
2007. Were you working at Midtown then, or that's
Yeah,
too early?
I think no, I had 2 more years, and then I was there.
Yeah, White Tiger #1. I do remember this book coming out. It was a great cover.
Yeah.
White Tiger #1, January of 2007. There are 38 9.8s, $125 plus. Daredevil, Danny Rand, and Black Widow appearance. Tamora Pierce and Timothy Lieb story. Phil Briones and Don Hillsman art with a David Mack cover. All right, that does it for this week. We thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, please leave them in the field below. Otherwise, we'll see you all next week. Same bad time.
Same bad channel.